So we're getting set up to do the jaya, and jaya is also like the egg roll. So this one's going to be meat. So we're going to use pork, and then I already put the ground pork inside my big pot because Grandma didn't have a big clear bowl to put them in. And then we're also going to put shrimp in there. So Grandma's peeling some shrimp for me. So that's shrimp. What, Mom?
Cho mấy cái dĩa nhỏ này bằng giấy đi. Và
Okay.
định đồ để con mới quay vô.
Okay. So Grandma needed a plate. Okay, so you're gonna get some shrimp. This one I bought is an easy peel shrimp because I don't want to do a lot of. Yeah, this is gonna be. Grandma's gonna start talking to me during the video, but anyway. So then you're gonna peel the shrimp. And Grandma's peeling the rest of the shrimp, and then she's going to mince the rest for me back there. That way we're not spending a long time doing this video. The thing with making jaya, or lumpia, or egg roll, however you want to call it, but the Vietnamese style is called jaya, is very time consuming. So you want to have time to do this. So I just peeled the shrimp. And you don't even have to put shrimp if you don't want to, for those that don't like seafood. But we like shrimp. And then I'm going, if you have a food processor, you can process the food so it'll mince it, or, you know, what do you call it, grind it or whatever. I don't have a food processor, so I'm just going to smash it with a knife while Grandma's doing the rest of it over there. And then to make it even a little bit more, we're going to just chop it up some more, right? So that way, and this is how I chop. And again, I'm not a chef. I'm just a mom cook, okay? So this is just the way that I was taught by my grandma. She's back there. So anyway, you're going to chop them up, and then it'll just come into like little pieces like this so that you can blend really well with your ground pork. So I'm going to stick that in the pot with the ground pork. By the way, whenever you're cooking, make sure you wash your hands before you start. My hand's clean already. Okay. The next thing, another thing you'll want to put in your ingredients is chopped onion. So this was just yellow sweet onion, but you can use all kinds of onion. You can even use some shallots because it has a different flavor, or you can have white onion, just whatever kind of onions you like. So cutting up the onions, it's not really preference, and some like it really thin, or you can make it a little bit big, just depending on whether or not you want it to be crunchier inside have a little crunch in it. So I'm going to slice up the rest of my yellow onion, and it's about that thin. Okay, not that thick. And then I'm going to dice it up. Now, when you're dicing any kind of vegetables, whether onions or broccoli or whatever, you always want to make sure that the size is always consistent so that when it comes time to cook it, it cooks evenly. Otherwise, like even with vegetables, if one vegetable size is bigger than another vegetable, then the smaller ones cook faster, so it doesn't cook evenly. So you always want to try and manage to cut and slice and anything like that with vegetables or onions to be the same size. And then for Vietnamese, ground pork is called ground pork. Tiếng Việt nói là sao má? Thịt heo xay. Thịt heo xay. And then shrimp, tôm, and then onion, củ hành. Okay, this one củ hành. So I'm putting the onions now inside the meat mixture and the rest of my onion. Another thing you want to add, another one of Grandma's ingredients, is carrots. So yesterday, or in the last video with the fish sauce, I had already what do you call it? Shredded some carrots. So there's my shredded carrot. And then I'm going to also add that. Find a way so you guys can see Grandma's meat pot. There, now you can see it. Okay, so I got the ground pork, some shrimp. Grandma's mincing more shrimp, and then we're gonna add the carrots. That one was just one whole carrot. So you don't need a lot of carrot. It's just really, for me, I think it's really just for color. And carrot in Vietnamese, carrot. So that's kind of easy to learn. Carrot, củ hành, and then thịt heo xay and tôm. Okay, so that's a test. Now you have to figure out what I just taught you. Another ingredient that we put in Grandma's jaya recipe is bún tàu. Huh? Bún tàu. So they come in all kinds of brand, but this is the brand that I have. And then you have to soak it in water. And then when you soak it, this one's been soaking for probably about 15 minutes. So now it's starting to look like a noodle. Otherwise, in the bag, it looks like that. So it's a very dry noodle. You have to soak it in water. So what we're gonna do with that, now that it's soft enough to work with, I'm gonna squeeze out the water here. You could actually just drain it. And then I'm gonna kind of chop it up for you. So that way we can get like little pieces of this. Little pieces. I can stand up because the table's kind of low. So this one, again, it's just a English vermicelli noodle. And you can buy it at the Asian store, the vermicelli. And so Vietnamese we call bún tàu, but it's also a lot of different brands. You can probably use scissors to cut this up. I'm just going to chop it because it gets faster. And then you'll just want to chop it so you have smaller pieces of noodles. And I'll show you the size of the noodle after I'm done chopping it. Don't want my hair in it. Okay, so chop it, chop it, chop it, chop it. Today's very hot outside. So it finally feels like summer. Anyway, I thought you guys should know Grandma was super excited to do this video. And if you didn't notice, she was talking to me in the background, telling me what I should say. So anyway, there's the noodles. So see, it should kind of look like that, like little pieces. You don't want them too long because we're gonna mix it in with all of the meat. And now we're gonna put that all inside the meat mixture.
Vậy má đưa cho con cái thao màu xanh kia con chọn nó đẹp con cái
That's okay. Để cho nó nói, it's okay. Tại con để trong lúc này video. So here's the minced shrimp that Grandma just finished doing for me. You know, I'll put it inside there. And then Grandma's my sous chef again. And then Grandma also did some shallots because she said it tastes better with the shallots. And then she also wanted me to add garlic. I usually don't put garlic, but Grandma wanted to put garlic. Cái gì đó không cần. Right, now put it away. So basically there's no order as to what ingredients go in first or last or second or anything like that. Because it's all going to go inside there. And then you're going to have to mix it up. So the next thing we like to add in there, gives it some flavor, is dried black fungus. And that doesn't sound very tasty, but it's actually really good. And there, again, there's all different kinds of brands. And then this one, you find it in the Asian market. It looks like this. And it's all dried up. And what you have to do with that, just like the vermicelli noodles, you have to soak it. So that one's been soaking too for about the same amount of time. And clear this up. I'll be right back. I'm just going to go and drain that real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. We don't have anybody to film us, so we're kind of like going back and forth, back and forth. So this one, Vietnamese num nail, okay? And it looks like this after it's soaked. It's also known as wood ear mushrooms. So it's a fungus, so it's really a mushroom, but it's dried mushroom. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna chop it up. into my little pieces. Today, it's been kind of gloomy out here the last few days, and then today the sun is out, so now my allergies are really kicking in. And then I don't want to take too much allergy medicine, otherwise I would fall asleep or be taking a nap. So we're doing the thumbnail and chopping it up. Again, trying to keep it, you know, like, it doesn't have to be really small, but just like into little pieces like that. So we can go into our meat ingredient. So stick it in there. Stick it in there. Got some more here. This one I didn't use the whole bag. That bag over there was almost empty. I probably just used a handful. And then that handful, when it actually gets soaked, it turns out to be a lot. So you don't want to do a whole bunch of it. You're going to be stuck with a lot of this. But just a handful of it. And then the vermicelli noodles, I soaked 2 of them. And the reason I soaked 2 is because I bought 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm sorry, 2 pounds of ground pork, not beef, okay? 2 pounds of ground pork. If I was only using 1 pound of ground pork, I'd probably only use 1 of those vermicelli noodles to soak, because you don't want to put too much. And then otherwise when you go to mix it, it's all noodle. Okay, and this one was just a handful for 2 pounds of meat. And for the shrimp, we just did like a little bowl of shrimp. You don't need a lot of shrimp. It's just a little bit to give it some texture. So that is the ingredients that go inside the jaya. Okay. Now, oh, you need an egg. Em á, nó cho con cái trứng gà nha.
Dạ trứng gà.
Một cái thôi ha.
Để
Trứng gà.
Để cho nó dính lại. Để trứng gà vô để mình cuốn nó dính lại.
Trứng gà, bỏ vô cho nó dính lại. Grandma said you put the egg in there so that.
Với là một cái để lát giáp bánh á.
Yeah, we're gonna do that together so that it'll bind everything. So 1 egg. Oops. Make sure you don't, you know, get shells in there. Okay. So 1 egg. Then I got a towel. I have my towel here. Just kind of towel it off a little bit. Okay. For seasoning, very easy stuff. Salt. Okay, I eyeball everything. I don't measure anything, but so that you don't mess up and over salt it, otherwise it's too salty. I'm gonna put it in my hand and then kind of show you how I figure out how much is enough. Okay, so I put some in my hand, and it's okay if it's not over seasoned because you're gonna eat it with nước mắm anyway. And then if you if you dip it in your fish sauce, you're still going to get a lot of flavor, and you don't have to worry whether or not you seasoned enough. So I just put some salt in my hands. I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it all. There's 1, so you can just see how much, like handful. 2. Well, actually, I did enough. So it was just like 3 little handful. Looked like it was snowing. Grandma told me to wear gloves, but this is for us to eat, so my hands are clean. It's for our family. Okay, so I'm not gonna do gloves. No, con cứ con đội vào tay đâu. Không thích đội. Mang, không phải đội trên đầu quá, không mang tay quá. I don't want it. So then now black pepper. Up to you. If you don't like black pepper, don't worry about it, but you put a little bit of black pepper. You can see I just put a dash. Fish sauce. So the fish sauce, nước mắm, okay, nước mắm, muối, tiêu, okay. So those are the 3 seasonings that I use. Nước mắm, muối, tiêu. So fish sauce, salt, and pepper. The way I eyeball this is that I just pour it on where I know that it's just gonna kind of cover up some of the mixture. And again, I don't need to put a whole lot in here because we got the fish sauce, the recipe of fish sauce that I gave you yesterday. So that's probably good enough. and then put that away. Now here's the part that's not so fun. It's kind of messy, but you can mix it up. You can mix it up with a spoon or whatever you want. I'm gonna use my hand because it's the easiest way to get this to bind together. So again, all the ingredients was ground pork, minced shrimp, băm ra, and then onion, củ hành, carrot, củ tỏi, so garlic, and then nấm mèo, which is the dried fungus.
Cái này hết rồi hả?
Mèo gì nữa? Bún tàu, which is the vermicelli noodles, and then that's it. And then 1 egg, trứng gà. Egg is trứng gà. Hết xong rồi mà. Trứng gà, and then for the seasoning again, salt, pepper, and fish sauce. And again, you don't have to worry if you didn't feel like you put enough seasoning, because we're gonna have it with fish sauce, and then that'll make it some flavor too. But the best way when you're eyeballing it, like if you were seasoning your food at the dinner table with salt, you know how you should use the salt shaker and you're shaking salt into your food? Kind of like that with this. That's what I do. I just kind of season it the way I would season my food at the dinner table. So I gotta go wash my hands, but I wanted you to see what the pudding looked like. There you go. That's what it looks like when it's all mixed up. So let me go wash my hands, and then Mom, why don't you say hi to the grandkids on the video?
Okay.
Let me wash my hands.
Là để nó rửa cho nó sạch sẽ, không được.
Alright, Grandma's coming because we're gonna roll the egg rolls together. Now, fun little story. This was when I was a kid. I was probably 10 or 11. No, lúc mà bán cái giò bên trời mẹ con mấy tuổi? About 12. I was about 12.
They go crazy.
So Grandma would wake us up at 4 in the morning to make lumpia jaya, and then we would go and sell it at the local flea market. 4 for $1. So cheap. Oh, cái tấm thớt cần hả? Oh, she wants to wash it. So we would get up there early in the morning. That's how I learned to do this recipe. And then Grandma and I would roll the lumpia, and then we would be frying it, and then put it in a cooler, get into an insulated cooler, but it would stay warm, and then go and sell it at the flea market. And then I remember she made me wear a Vietnamese gown and put a flower in my hair and a big basket, and we put the lumpia there, and I would walk down the aisles selling lumpia as if I was like in Vietnam, I guess, at the market. Anyway, I gotta put this away, and let me go grab a little bowl for the egg. Okay, we're going to start showing you how to roll the egg roll. So yeah, you need 1 egg to help grind it. Con này không bỏ đâu vậy?
Nó bỏ vô cái tô để cho nó đẹp, nó sạch sẽ chút con nó đẹp.
Oh, she said she wants to put the stuff into a clear bowl so it'll look pretty for you to see. So cute. Okay. So I'm just waiting for her to do that. So anyway, we're going to start the process of rolling the lumpia. And then I bought, and there's again all kinds of brands of lumpia wrapper or jaya wrapper. So this one is all-purpose Menlo wrappers. Thơm mà? Because I'm a good cook. Learn from the best. So anyway, that's the wrapper, and you can get all kinds of wrapper to roll with. And I had some left over, so I'm going to use that one first. Use that one first. And they come in squares like this, like that. She wanted you to see.
Mấy cái kia con xanh kia được mà cất chặt. Tiêu muối rồi đó.
I mean muối.
Yeah.
Tiêu.
Black pepper.
Nước mắm.
Sauce.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
this.
Okay. Oh. She wants us to clear out the table, so we have some room at the table. And I'll show you what we're going to do with this later on. So me and I'll share with you the different types of veggies that they're called. So now I don't like to roll them so big because I like to wrap them also in the Vietnamese and the rice paper. But for right now, we're going to use this, and then we're going to cut it in half diagonally because I like the small ones. Mom, cái trái qua bên đây mới giúp con roll mấy cái tự giỏi. So now after cutting half, you like that. Yeah. I didn't touch it with my face there. I just hold it like that. So you're gonna put down onto this is a cutting board so you can see it. Put it there, and then I'm just gonna use my hands. You guys can use a spoon if you need to use a spoon so that you put the same amount of meat all the time, but you can pretty much eyeball it. So you're going to grab a little bit of the ingredients, mixture, and you're going to stick it in your lumpia Eggroll wrapper. So that's what it looks like. And then we're going to roll it. So I fold it in half, and roll it. Now I like to make sure I roll it pretty tight so it stays together, especially when you're going to fry it. And then a little bit of the egg wash, stick it, put it there, and then just roll. This one, and then roll. There you go. You got a nice size lumpia. And stick it up on my plate. There. Then you do another one. And you're going to keep repeating this until you finish doing rolling them. Okay. Grandma's going to roll some more. And then I'm going to show you how to cook them. So I'll just make 4 of these for now. With this, because this is it's not holding very well. You know why? Because this is my leftover. But if you just let it lay flat with the flap down, let's use this one, might be better. It'll bind. It doesn't look like it's binding right now because this was not a new one that I opened. It was one that I already had. But when you're getting the ingredients, make sure you have a little bit of the carrots and then a little bit of the shrimp in there, and the onion. Ngồi đây nè má. Ngồi đây nè. Ngồi đây nè. And then nhưng mà má cuốn thì con đi chiên.
Thôi con cuốn chút xíu để má gỡ bánh cho con.
No, tại con cứ cuốn hết đâu nên cái video nó too long. So I'm not going to have you watch us roll all of that. Otherwise the video will probably take a long time to finish. So I'm going to make one more so that there's 4. That way when you taste it, it's too fast. It's too fast. And then, yeah, she's going to show you how we eat it. We eat it on different time. And then, anyway, that's Grandma. That's my mother. In her Vietnamese.
How are you?
In her Vietnamese outfit. She was actually really excited.
We don't have nothing to do, just do this for fun.
So that the kids can have Grandma's recipe. So, okay. Now I'm going to show you how Grandma's going to keep rolling. I'm going to take you guys over to show you how to fry this. I'm going to wash my hands first. Yeah, my cool.
Yeah.
I'm washing my hands and you can hear the water. And then I'm going to take you over here with me so you can see how we fry everything. I'm going to fry it in this. Dầu ăn nó để trong đây à? Dầu ăn.
Thấy không con? Yeah. That's enough, right? Nè, con dưới mấy cái này thêm chút xíu nữa đi. Ở trong này dầu ăn nhiều lắm con. Nè. Chế này vô. Nó mình có xài hết, mình chế này bạn con hiểu không? Đỡ.
grab you guys. Sorry, we don't have anybody filming us, so we are just doing this the best we can. And so I'm gonna take all my little video props, and then I forgot my, what do you call it? My she's cleaning my selfie stick. So you'd be totally laughing if you saw how I'm positioning this camera to film us. There she is. Okay, so we're in the kitchen. Grandma's gonna keep rolling stuff. And I'm
Muốn
gonna
mà
show.
cuốn cái đó phải không?
Hả?
Mà cái đó mới cuốn ha.
Mày cuốn nha.
Dạ.
And then I go chạy qua bên đó con phụ luôn. Okay. So now this one, it's gonna be time to fry them. So you can use, it's better to use vegetable oil because different oils have different flavors. But I'm also okay with olive oil, and this is extra light olive oil. There's nothing light about this dish, nor are you going to be on a diet. So no dieting. So anyway, I'm just using a pot because Grandma doesn't have a small frying pan, but I kind of fill up the oil enough so that when we fry the jaya, it'll cover up all of the egg roll, so it'll deep fry evenly. And then for the burner, okay, let's see, burner. That's like my power burner, but we're not gonna put it up that high because otherwise, I'm probably gonna put it to about, maybe like that, which is medium heat, to heat up the oil. Now, you don't want the oil to be super hot because it's a meat jaya, meat egg roll. If it's too hot, the wrapper will cook too fast, and then the meat won't cook. So you want the oil to be the right temperature. Now, I don't do any temperature thermometers or
When you're
anything.
testing the oil hot, you put the lid in and the lid
Go ahead,
up
Mom.
up. Then you take out the
Get in here and show. Tell them what you told me.
And then when you want to test the oil hot, you put the lid in, and then the lid come up and the boil, and then the oil okay to fry.
All right, Mom. Okay. Provided you have these leaves, okay? She never told me about that one. But let me show you how I test oil. Okay. So if you don't have like mint leaves or other kind of vegetables and stuff like that, you can test the oil with your lumpia wrapper because it's already handy, right? Because not everybody's gonna run out to the market and do this because not everybody's gonna eat it the way we eat it, which we're gonna show you how we eat it. But you would just just tear off a little piece of the lumpia wrapper, and then when you see the oil kind of hot, you're gonna throw that in, and if it sizzles, then you know the oil is ready to cook your lumpia. So since I just turned it on, I'm not gonna do it just yet. Gotta give it a few minutes to heat up the oil. So also when you're frying the lumpia, depending on the size of your pot or frying pan, just pretend this is a frying pan. You don't want it to be overcrowded in there, otherwise it won't deep fry evenly, and plus you need to be able to turn it over because you're gonna fry one side, turn it over, when it gets a little brown, turn it over, and then etc. until it's cooked. So I'm just gonna throw it in there, not yet sizzling, kind of, almost, but not quite. And then I'm gonna get my chopstick and some. I'm gonna use chopstick, okay, to cook. This one's fancy chopstick for eating dinner and rice. So not good for cooking because I don't think this is wood. So it might melt in there. But we have some that we took from the Asian market when you go out and eat Chinese food. So I'm gonna use this one because this one for sure I know is a wooden chopstick. So anyway, I'm just checking my lumpia wrapper. It's still not sizzling yet. It's gonna take a few minutes for that to heat up on the oil. And then with Grandma's little trick, she wants to put a little piece of leaf in there and see if it sizzles. Nothing yet. Wait, we gotta wait. Anyway. This part's kind of like waiting for water to boil. Oh, so this one, no, nhưng mà không phải nồi chiên. It's just like a pot. Không có mấy cái nồi chiên nhỏ nhỏ hả má?
Hả?
Mấy cái nồi, mấy cái chảo. Không phải nồi mà chảo. That's okay, fine. Lấy cái này là được. And then the oil. So, anyway, that's what we got here. This is all of our different veggies we're going to eat the lumpia with when it's ready. This one has like a purple leaf with green. Green on one side, wait. Green on one side, purple on the other. I don't know what it's called in English. I don't know what it's called in Vietnamese. Cái này rau gì quên rồi má? Rau này nè.
Tía tô.
Rau tí tô. Okay, rau tí tô. Phần này á, rau diếp cá.
Rau diếp cá.
Này, rau diếp cá. Yummy. And then this one, mint.
They smell look like a fish.
And then, does it smell like fish? This one, like mustard green.
Another one, rau muống lủi.
Cải địa xanh. And then, có rau thơm nữa. Rau thơm mình nhớ bên kia.
Cái bánh này nó dở quá con.
Vậy mà lấy cái bánh mới đi. Tại cái bánh còn. Oh, so now it's sizzling, so you can see what it looks like when it's sizzling. I don't want to drop my phone in there, obviously. See? The stuff in there is sizzling. Okay, so now we are going to start frying our lumpia. So I'm going to put one in. I'm just going to put it inside our fryer, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's inside there. The other one in. That one in. That one in. That's okay. Just say that. Yeah, just say that. So she's trying to find another chảo. So anyway, so there it is inside my deep fryer. So as you can see, the chả giò is inside there, and it's kind of submerged in the oil. Okay. She bought me more, but I'm only gonna fry 4 for now, because otherwise you guys might get bored watching this whole video with us frying lumpia. But anyway, we're gonna fry those, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's cooked. And so you can see it's kind of bubbling, right? Bubbly, but not very, very hot. Okay, so you don't want it to be too hot, like I said, otherwise the meat inside won't cook, but the wrapper will cook fast. And then after it's cooked, you probably want to, let's see, grab like a paper towel, grab some paper towel, and then put it on your plate. Or you can use one of those strainers if you want. I don't know, the bigger strainer. I'm going to use a paper plate. And after the lumpia is fried and cooked, you're going to put the lumpia on top of the paper plate, so that way it can like drench some of the oil, so you don't get oil all over your thing. So it's totally bubbling up. I'm going to just turn it over and over. And then remember when I was having trouble trying to bind it with the Eggroll, but I told you if you leave it alone for a little bit, it'll bind. See, it's all binded. It's not cooked yet, so I'm going to stick it back in there. It's just so that you can see how it looks after it's cooked. Oh. And then, what else? So the way we're going to eat it, when we get ready to eat it, let me show you what we got. When we get ready to eat it, we're going to eat it with some andan, which is rice paper. And I'll show you how to do that. And then if you recall in my last video, I showed you how to do the fish sauce. So this is the fish sauce from yesterday that I made, and it was refrigerated, so it's nice and cold. And then you can mix it up a little bit because I already put all my carrots in there, so the carrots are going to taste really yummy. That's going to go with our gaya.
So we're going to ask người blonde Judy.
So my gaya. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the fish sauce in my little dipping dish. Remember the fish sauce recipe yesterday? Mine is kind of spicy. You guys don't have to do spicy. But there's my fish sauce, dipping sauce. So I'll leave that on the side for a minute. I'll put this in. I can smell the lumpia. It smells so good. It smells like lumpia. There you go. So it's frying up. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. You can hear it sizzling and bubbling up. And then I'll show you the color and how it should look with the color. I hope you're enjoying the video. It's a long video. And it would have been longer if I took, had it on while we roll everything and fry everything. So I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible for all of you guys. And this will definitely be for everybody's dinner tonight. Still frying. So you can kind of see it. Let me show you how it looks in the frying. While it's frying. Oops. Let me do that. There you go. I just don't want my phone to fall into the oil. But that's what it looks like while it's frying. You can see it's kind of starting to get a little brown in there. Okay. So that's what we have. There's more gaya. I'm just standing here watching it so it doesn't burn. I don't want it to burn while on video. Okay. Getting brown. And turn it around. You can turn it around, Turn it over, not around. Just turn it over so then it can get brown on all sides. It's getting there. It's almost good. And if you have the right temperature for your oil, then it'll always cook good. Mang nhiều không con chiên? Con chiên có 4 cái. I told my mother I'm only going to fry 4 because, just to taste. The rest we're going to save and freeze it. So now let's talk about storing. So like all of these right here, we're going to put it in a big Ziploc bag, and then we're going to put it in the freezer so we can eat it whenever we want to. And you don't have to defrost it to cook it. In fact, it's better to leave it frozen prior to cooking. And what you'll want to do is when it's in the bag, I'll give you an example. Okay, let's just pretend these are in the freezer. Let's just pretend this is frozen, okay? And then you're ready to, pretend it's frozen. Now you're ready to cook and eat it. They're going to look like they're sticking and you're going to think you need to defrost it, but you don't, okay? So what you're going to do, you want to separate them when they look like they're frozen and stuck together. You can just kind of bang it on the table a little bit like that. Then you have to be hard or, well, you have to be hard, yes. Sometimes hard is good. So anyway, if it's a little hard, you just bang it a little harder and then they'll separate and then you can fry them while it's still frozen, okay? So it's okay to store it and let it get frozen and hard because then you bang it and it'll separate and then you're gonna throw it in the fryer to cook it and then it'll still come out very nice and crispy. So it looks like it's almost done. The color is getting good. I'm all about color. That's how I eyeball everything. But I do know that the meat's cooked inside, so that's important. You don't want to eat raw pork, because that won't be very good. It's not good for you either. Not like beef or fish where it's okay if it's a little raw. But you can kind of see, it's getting there, a little brown. I don't like it too brown, I just like it golden brown. So this is almost golden brown. Here, This one's really good. So now I'm going to take that one out, put it on my paper towel. This one looks good too. Take that one out, put on my paper towel. Take this one out. Put on my paper towel. And one more. Put it out. Paper towel. Okay. Now I'm going to move this off to the side here and turn off my burner. Because I'm not going to fry all of it, obviously. You guys don't want to watch all of that. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a great way and fun way to eat this. Uh-oh. So let me show you. I'll move you a little closer to where all the food is now, so you can see this. Okay. Oh, need my props, I wish I had remembered to bring, okay, so check it out. I put my movie projector, a box, and my phone is sitting inside a glass. And then sitting on top of all of that because I forgot to bring the selfie stick. So anyway, let me show you how we eat this at home. And not everybody does this, but we do. I think it just adds a lot more flavor and then it's kind of fun to do too. So I'm gonna take one benta and then you're gonna submerge it in water. It doesn't have to be like drenched in water because then it'll be too wet, but just enough to wet. So I'm gonna do that real quick. So it's just wet, and as you can see, you can kind of see water dripping, but it's not submerged, and it's still kind of hard, right? But it's gonna get soft. So you're gonna put it down on your plate. So I have it on my plate, and while it's on my plate, I'm gonna start prepping it. So I'm gonna put a little bit, oops, I'm gonna make one for Valentine. I'm gonna put a little bit of this, which is the cream mustard, and put some of that on my rice paper. And put some of this. You can put a lot, as much as you want. Some of this, rau diệp cá, rau tito, cải besan, rau thơm, so mint, just so you can see it, mint. I don't know what this is in English, sorry guys, don't know. It's called rau diệp cá, but cá means fish, so I don't know, maybe it's supposed to smell like fish, I'm not sure. Doesn't smell like fish. And then ratito, but again, I don't know what that's called in English. And there's one more, but it's missing in here. Let me go grab it. And then I love this one, peppermint. So I put that in there. So usually by the time you're putting your rice paper plate together, you can tell it's starting to kind of form here and get a little bit soft, see? Soft. Then I'm gonna grab one lumpia, jaya. I'm gonna put it on there with my rice paper with all of my veggies, and then I'm gonna wrap it in that. And the only reason we do it like that is because I love eating that with the fresh vegetables, but I've learned that if you wrap it in that, it holds everything together, and then it gives it a nice flavor. And then with that, you're gonna get your fish sauce, and then you're gonna taste it. Dip it in there. Yummy. Really, really good. Grandma has to try it. Mom, can you try it? I know, but just try one. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. Good.
Good?
Very good.
Good job. That's it. Bye.
Easy.